And then finally, we've got the fact that he's taking a salary from his campaign. And his campaign has issued an official statement today on the controversy over Jeff Hartline paying himself $8,000 plus a month from his campaign. His campaign says that a candidate taking a salary is legal and has been so since 2003. That's right. There are things that are legal that just aren't right. And in my view, this is one of them. Yeah, it seems to me it just kind of slimy. Yeah, I'm going to raise money from my donors, and I'm going to pay myself. Oh, and I'm also going to reimburse myself for expenses, too. Now, the expenses are one thing, but paying yourself a salary to go run for office? I think that just smells bad, which is why they're, I guess, so upset about the fact that this has come out. But this is where the campaign kind of keeps digging. Well, Jeff has been running full-time since January 1st, but Federal Election Commission regulations require that no salary be paid until after the filing deadline, which is why the salary payments have all showed up in the second quarter financial disclosure. So let me make sure I get this right. It would have been illegal for him to pay himself starting in January. So instead of paying himself in January, he started paying himself in April and went back and repaid himself for all the months he would have paid himself illegally in January, February, and March. I couldn't pay myself illegally, so I went back and retroactively paid myself illegally. When you're in a hole, quit digging. Oh, wait. Jeff has his shovel with him and wants to get on the line. Hey, Jeff, welcome in.
Hi, Steve. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. So let me make sure I understand your campaign's argument today is that because you couldn't illegally pay yourself in January, you've now retroactively paid yourself starting in April?
Well, it's actually not illegal. In fact, we consulted with a number of attorneys that deal with FEC regulations regarding this before and since these allegations began coming out.
Well, they're not allegations. It's true. You've been paying yourself, right? So it's not an allegation.
No. I mean, the FEC report is public information. We haven't attempted to hide anything, not since day one. So
well, your campaign, though, has issued a statement that says FEC regulations require that no salary be paid until after the filing deadline. Are you saying that your campaign's wrong?
No. What the regulations require is that no compensation be paid prior to the filing deadline in any state. But a candidate may reimburse himself or may pay himself for a full 12 months during a campaign. We followed the regulations according to the law. And in fact, these laws were actually written because Congress, people were starting to be upset with Congress because Congress was becoming a millionaire's club. You couldn't run for Congress unless you had money or somebody could support you, either a family member or a spouse, or, as other folks had done, they hired a family member and paid them an exorbitant amount of money, to cover the expenses. This is a very populist move made by the Congress, one that many, many people have used, and one that has worked to allow just regular, ordinary citizens like me who are not self-funded to be able to run for Congress.
Are you paying your son?
My son is my field manager.
Right, but I mean, you just said that they hire campaign people that are their children. You're doing the same thing, right?
No, I said family members. It's generally your wife. My son doesn't live with me. He's an independent person.
But, I mean, you said family members, and he's a family member, and you're paying your son. Second question, the campaign also is, in addition to paying you, obviously they're reimbursing your expenses. The difference is that members of Congress are also doing a job. They are actually going and casting votes. Jim Cooper cast a lot of bad ones, but he is also continuing to do the job as a congressman. You're simply paying yourself to run for Congress.
That's correct. That's why the guidelines were changed in 2002, as I said before, to allow ordinary, individual, non-self-funding citizens to be able to run for federal office.
Have you pointed that out to your donors that you were going to be paying yourself, again, based upon what you've been paying since April? I guess you're saying you're paying $4,000 a month rather than the $8,000 a month that's been shown in your financial report. Have you told your donors that you were going to pay yourself a salary?
Our donors are aware. Our campaign finance team that's solidly behind what we're doing is working with us and continuing to raise money because they want to see Jim Cooper gone. Jim Cooper's making $14,500 a month to run for re-election, and we're not making anything close to that, nor do we deserve it.
If you win, are you not going to accept pay during the period when the campaign starts as a member of Congress?
You can't. You can't.
You could donate the money to charity. I mean, you could not accept the pay for not doing the job. I mean, if Jim Cooper getting paid is a bad thing, my question is just simple. Will you accept pay when you're running for re-election or not?
If it's within the law, I will. If it's not within the law, I won't.
So the law is the only guide, not whether something's right or wrong. So there's nothing wrong with Jim Cooper getting paid because he's allowed to get paid. So why are you criticizing him about it?
No, the point is that it's allowed to give equal treatment or equanimity in the election process. That's the only reason the guidelines were passed, because they were what the people wanted.